The online world is always changing.
Pushing it to the next level of computing, giving you access to what you want,
How you want it,
and when you want it.
what's in your online world?
What do you like to do online?
I like to go online and connect with my friends.
I surf mainly for research purposes.
I go online to share photos with my friends and family who live all over the world.
I like to go online to check out different marketing blogs, advertising blogs, see what's up in the industry.
Everything, my life is online.
Wow, sounds like everybody have a different online experience. I'm Jacky Mok.
And I'm Farhan Thawar. This is our third in a series of 5 vidcasts on what's new and cool in Windows Live in Canada. If this is your first time joining us, we're both product managers for Windows Live at Microsoft Canada.
You know, Farhan, in our past vidcasts we have talked about several cool features of Windows Live, like the live search maps and live search. But what other people also want to know about is Microsoft's strategies on Windows Live. Where are we heading in the future? What about competitors like Google? And last but not least, where's Ray Aussie?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I actually had a chat with Vice President of Windows Live Platform, Blake Irving. Let's see what he had to say. What do you think Microsoft's vision is around Windows Live?
Really what we're talking about is having a series of centralized services run up on the web, and that things like Windows Live ID, Windows Live Messenger, storage, messaging back and forth, infrastructure for storing files. This kind of thing will all exist up on the web, and frankly you'll be able to access it with your desktop. You may not even know whether you're storing something up in the cloud or on your desktop PC. Right. You'll have this wonderful resource available to you from your desktop between a myriad of applications, whether it's Office, whether it's Windows, whether it's MSN. And frankly, one of the strategies behind Windows Live is making these resources that sit up in the cloud available to third-party application developers or websites as well. And one key piece of this whole Windows Live strategy and the vision behind it is that there's a shift, and I won't call it a tipping point kind of shift, but a shift in the market where the traditional monetization methods that are used for software today, which are primarily it's licensing, it's subscription, and there's this other one that's emerging for Microsoft and is frankly new over the last 10 years or so and has kind of waned, was in powerful fortune, then kind of waned in the late 90s, and then it's definitely recovered in a big resurgence in advertising, right? And Microsoft is very serious about getting into the advertising business. In fact, we're in it for the long haul. You've heard Steve Ballmer, you've heard Ray Aussie talk about how important it is to us. And that evolution of the way that software is monetized is super important to the live strategy, because we know that from a web reach perspective, the users that we've got on Live ID and Messenger and Spaces and Mail and search and our home pages with Simpatico, those technologies or capabilities, where we might think of them as a user base, the way that advertisers think about them is an audience. And they look at Microsoft and say, holy smokes, you guys have the biggest global audience I've ever come across. I can do a deal with you and I can reach people around the world in a variety of demographic, geographic, psychographic segments, and I've done it sort of a one-stop shop. So there's product strategy, there's revenue strategy, and it's kind of changing the way that we think about software as a company with a services-centric view.
So Blake, for this demo, what are you going to show us here on Ad Labs?
Well, what I'm going to show you is something called video hyperlinking. And this is a technology that came out of Microsoft Research that actually is so easy to use, you don't understand the power of the technology behind it. What this does, it actually will allow you to demarcate an image in a video by selecting it, and it will actually take a couple of axes on the object and will allow you to attach metadata to it. And you only have to do it once, and it'll track that object through the entire video. So it's a super simple way of having an advertiser perhaps tag something that they want to sell in a video, be able to attach metadata, which includes the website they might want to drive somebody to convert them, and actually turn them into a purchaser. Right. And it's so easy to do. The tools, one of the things that differentiates it is the tool is so simple. Right. You won't realize that there's powerful technology behind it.
Right. Cool. Let's take a look.
All right. You're watching basically a film of, okay, it's a trick skier, and I can actually hover over this guy, and the image as it's been tagged has a technology that actually maps occlusions between the body itself and anything that's around it. So you'll notice it as it goes in front of trees, it never's confused about what you're actually looking at in terms of this meta-tagged image. And I can click on this meta-tagged image and it'll take me to a web page and take me to the objects. You can map the pants if you wanted to, you can map the jacket if you wanted to, you can imagine mapping just about anything and being able to separate it from its background. And
by simple tagging, sorry to cut you off, but by simple tagging you mean not having to go through every frame of video and tag it?
Yeah, basically, yeah, you're just basically taking a couple of marks, and this notion of occlusion basically will follow that image through the entire video and map the edge of your shoulder with the background and say, I always know that's the edge of your shoulder. Therefore, I'm going to keep this portion, your upper body or whatever it is, in the image, and that's all I'm going to do.
Right.
So the ability for an advertiser or somebody who's just wants to get in, they want a great ROI, they want to make it super small investment and get a great return. The investment's tiny. Hyper tag the thing with some pointers to my website, and I'm out.
And the power of the UI, having an advertiser, not a developer, not somebody who's super, understands how this occlusion works, just actually simply tag the item and have the video do all the rest.
Yeah, it's an absolute no-brainer.
And all of this is already available on the web.
That's right.
So we can have people go to adlab.microsoft.com and actually take a look at this demo and all of the new things that are coming out of our ad labs.
Yeah, actually, adlab.microsoft.com has a bunch of things on it that I know advertisers will be very, very interested in, and this is one of the things I think will just kind of blow their minds to some extent.